Hey guys, Bolt here, and I am doing this pretty last minute because I completely forgot SP was a thing. Um, but I do got the summary for Nancy Drew Ransom of the 7 ships here. So let's get this into it. I got some small little extras like added to this script versus the past script. But let's just kind of jump into it. So Bess wins a 5-day vacation in the Bahamas, naturally inviting Nancy and her cousin George. Girly trio has been completed and has returned. Much to Nancy's luck, however, she arrives a day late due to her and her father going to a banquet in the island by the pilot who takes her there's definition. Um, it's a ghost town. Um, oh, and we also have a native. Um, oh, that's just George. We actually get to see George in a game for once. Um, yes, so we actually get to see a face reveal of George. We've only heard them, and we've only played as Bess back in the I think it was Louisiana. Um, and of course we already got the um, Hardy Boys, so it's finally getting to see Nancy's best friends in a game. Finally. Um, um, Time for another mystery, however, because Bess has been kidnapped. Yep. We're pulling a final scene. And while you're back there, Bess, is there a redhead in purple? Just wanting to know. Real quick summary is that Bess went out to see a sunset that was proposed by the owners of the resort, the Gibsons, who also disappeared for a fishing trip at the very same time. And the kidnapper left a note for Nancy as a ransom for Bess, that she must find a treasure. The treasure of El Totoro, I think is what it's called. Excuse me. Um, El Totoro is a Spanish captain of seven ships that sank near Devil's Triangle. Oh, sorry, wrong franchise. Um, they sank during around Dread Isle 300 years ago, and we find a parrot named Cuckoo, which might be the Grand Parrot, who has a Grand Parrot of Lulu, who is from Blackmore Manor. And we also find a map that has a bunch of spots that Nancy has been when it comes to mystery solving. So this straight up has a lot of connections to past mysteries. Not only is there a possibility that we're dealing with someone from the past or that has known about Nancy, and not to mention we're finally getting to see George in the game. Lulu's getting a granddaughter, grandson, whatever Cuckoo is, just Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So we get a reference to that. And then what was the other one I said? This also has like a small mirror too. Where is it? Actually, what was that one? Secret of the Clock, not Danger by Design. Oh, Legend of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, that's the one where we get to play as Bess for a little bit. Oh, I screwed up. So yeah, there's a lot of like little things. It feels like this is supposed to be kind of um, the pickup for the series. Um, with all these things going on. This starting to make it more me a bit sad here though, because you not along with the normal gameplay. Um, like it looks fun. It's nice story, a nice setup. The idea that the villain is from Nancy's past is also making me really want to play it. Um, and then not to mention they bring back the old clocks mechanic where back in that game you got to drive around in Nancy's car. This one you get a golf cart and you can drive around the island. I'm missing a lot of pretty cool games. And on top of it, they bring back last game's walking mechanic from Castle Maloon. Um, so it's like I'm missing driving, I'm missing a fun concept, and I'm missing walking. Man, um, through deciphering a message from El Totoro, we learned that the ships were wrecked by a hurricane. Um, uh, sorry, I wrote it down. Um, hurricane, is it? Oh yeah, it would be a hurricane because I think they said a tornado, but um, it's a water tornado basically. With no ships and a lot of lost men, um, he goes to hide the treasure, and Nancy gets a bunch of clues of where the treasure would be. We meet Johnny Roll, a fisherman on the same beach that Bess had been taken from. He explains that he was fishing and he was already dealing with his own issues. Apparently, monkeys on this island can like they really like to take stuff, and what they can't take gets broken. Um, Man, I love when like I'm like my Dokkan stuff. I love when you build an entire team that's like bulletproof, and then that one singular unit just gets smacked out of the air. Um. Anyways, uh, a thing that this kind of made me think that really pissed me off was you can play mini games with monkeys to get some of these parts and stuff back. Um, and other things to help with the finding of the treasure. Um, Real quick, I do gotta put my computer on something. Um, After covering some of the items, you can get a sail, and you can use a ship. And you can go deep sea diving. I'm really hating this now. So there's so many mechanics coming up that would be really nice to actually play. Um, but you are to retrieve a beacon for Johnny and some messages in bottles. Um, with the deep sea diving, you can find the shipwreck. Um, as the things and puzzles come together, we take Cuckoo's perch and find some newspapers of her past cases. So someone is obviously either like very invested in what her skills can be, but it's also that this person also might have like a big bone to pick with Nancy. Um, if things weren't any worse for me, um, you could also say that rock climbing would be nice to play. They just were like, oh, we took notice that you liked walking last game, so here's the driving returns, here's rock climbing, here's sailing, and here's deep sea diving, and not click around, walking. Like you can like these are like you can actually move around without any issue. I think Legend of the Crystal Skull had something similar. Um, when you were like walking around a small graveyard area, but still not the same. Um, let's see here. And also you could like test vibrations of bats in caves, and then Nancy gets stuck. And like I said, this kind of felt like Legend of Crystal Skull. Well, Legend of the Crystal Skull. And what happens? You call, you're able to get a hold of George, and similar to the, I think, it's that one that you got to play the Hardy Boys with on an island. And it turns out that, yeah, you can play as George in this game. So, like, you played as Jess in the Crystal Skull, Bess in the Crystal Skull. Now you can play as George in this one. And she comes in, frees her, and while exiting, we find the ID to Johnny. We return it back to him. We discover that basically he was going as a Jamaican, but now it turns out that he's Australian, and he just went into hiding because like he used to be an accountant that like learned some stuff about his client, previous client, that's gonna get him in trouble. Um, Sorry, trying to get this stuff done because I'm trying to go to bed as soon as I'm done with this. Um, and then while it looks, what did I say here? How did Vegeta die? I'm done with Dokkan so much, man. Some of the greatest units just get shot out of the sky. Um, Tridentity. Oh, that's what I was saying here. I was like quickly putting this together. So while this looks good as a game, it is a huge fetch quest. While it is not as annoying as Blackmore Manor, with the whole like you need to read this, this, and this, um, which I'm happy about. Um, I need to put my finger on here. Um, it it is fun to explore, and like once you know where stuff is, but there's also like when the deep sea diving you have to go back and forth to fill up the air tanks, which is kind of annoying. um you'd think you'd be on the boat, but anyways, after all the fetch quest, after you finally find the treasure and you go to like get help from Johnny to get some stuff figured out, it's red herring, red herring. So he bullshitted you that he was some guy hiding. Well, he was some guy hiding. Turns out that he is a past person. Spoilers for Stay Tuned for Danger Mystery 2. 2. This is like a long time coming. Um, so it turns out that Rick, the agent for Rick Arlen's, Dwayne Powers, basically he went into jail. In the last few years, he's been planning this very convoluted plan. You do kind of like see some of his errors in his plan to kind of like, you can kind of be like, him being an accountant, him being an agent, and once he learned of something, he tried to get away with something. Um, and of course, he throws us into a trap to get killed. Oh, by the way, here's Bess. We now can see Bess. So, geez, man, this game is giving us everything, and more. Trying to find. Um. So yeah, this is getting annoying. That like, while it's a fetch quest, there's a lot to do, a lot of collecting. Feels like a classic mystery. Has this massive like, hey, someone from your past actually came back. This is something I liked about Mystery Scooby Doo 2, the movie, and the Mystery Incorporated era of movies. There was this one where like Captain Magnus, the Redbeard, and a few others came for vengeance. Um, that's kind of what this gave me an idea for. And then like the rock climbing, deep sea diving, sailing, driving, walking. This is like yes, the Castle of Milani started this new era of games, but this one just like and luckily George is able to get a hold of the authorities. After you deal with your deadly puzzle room to escape, George is able to get a hold of the authorities. You get picked up by the pilot. They're able to find the boat of Dwayne, but not Dwayne himself. So either he got away, or Nancy has a passing remark of maybe he may have like fell off his boat and passed. Which there is sharks in this game, so it may have been that. The treasure's turned in, and because it's like, I think it's like the property of something, but it also runs in the waters of something. So it gets like two groups want a part of it. And that's really about it. So this game in general has been pretty nice. Nice to see George and Bess finally get some models. While they're not the greatest models for this kind of for this late in the game, it was nice to finally get to play as George, very similar to how we played as Bess. And they give off their personalities. I'm a little sad about Bess though, because she looks like this is Granny Bess here. Her face wise. Well, I can kind of see George maybe, but these are like probably mid-20s people. So they really should not be looking that old. So yeah, it's like all these extra things. The only thing I'd say that I don't like about it was the fetch quest. I mean, most of these games are fetch quests, but this one you felt it. So going into the next game that I will jump immediately once I get some other things done. I need to jump on this, but stay tuned for Danger got its villains return. So why would we not return to the first mystery whatsoever of Secrets Can Kill by having warnings of the Waverly Academy. B. Nancy standing in for a student yet again, undercover, trying to figure out who the Black Cat is. And basically, the Black Cat is what, like, the bad juju kind of sign of. It's just like you pass the path of a black cat, well, it's a warning. Stuff will happen because of bad luck. And that's what it really is just like, here's your warning. I'm going to cause an accident. I'm the black cat. But, alright, I am like, my eyes are starting to warm up, which means time for me to go to bed. But hopefully this one made everyone like happy. I'm so sad that I missed out on this one. Sadly, I think even if my games weren't working, this one I had to skip anyways because I don't think this is one of the few that got cut off of Steam, sadly. Like, you can find it Steam page, but you can't purchase it anymore. But alright, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.